Tonight, breaking news as we come on the air, what ABC News has just learned about the notebook carried by the suspect in the CEO murder case. What the alleged killer's notebook now reveals, what law enforcement sources told ABC News just moments ago. Also tonight, news the suspect, Luigi Mangione, could waive extradition from Pennsylvania back to New York in just days now. And tonight, a woman has now been charged with threatening her own insurance company. Aaron Katersky with new reporting. Also tonight, the alarming video in New York City, the bird strike right after takeoff at LaGuardia. Engine failure, the passenger jet operating with the other engine, making an emergency landing at nearby JFK Airport. Tonight, we're tracking the brutal cold and heavy snow moving in, more than 3 feet of snow in some places. And then the big change now coming, Lee Goldberg and the weekend forecast. Tonight, the growing mystery drone sightings across the east now, from Maryland to Pennsylvania, from New Jersey to Connecticut. Tonight, the Naval weapons station in New Jersey confirming drones overhead and what we've learned. Tonight, we're learning former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is in the hospital overseas after falling downstairs during a congressional trip, potentially needing surgery, and what we know so far. Tonight, new images of Travis Timmerman, the American held prisoner for months in Syria. The U.S. military today flying him out of Syria. And tonight here, James Longman revealing what helped fuel Bashar al-Assad's luxury life. Back in the U.S. tonight, the images just in. 2 boats colliding in Florida. We've learned more than a dozen people injured. An American couple in their 50s killed in Mexico, shot in their vehicle. The car riddled with bullets. The new study on obesity in America, for the first time in a decade, obesity rates in the U.S. are down amid those popular weight loss drugs. And our Made in America Christmas is back tonight. Your ideas pouring in, your one thing made in America this year. And the farm where you can buy your own Christmas tree and they'll mail it to you. You can watch it grow. And the viewers tonight sending in the proof.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with David Muir.
Good evening, and we begin tonight with the breaking news. Law enforcement sources telling ABC News that the spiral notebook belonging to the suspect in the CEO murder case offers chilling new details leading up to the crime. That notebook recovered after his arrest. Tonight, authorities telling ABC News Luigi Mangione's writings reveal increasing malice toward UnitedHealthcare and its chief executive. And sources say the suspect appeared to have fixated on CEO Brian Thompson for months before allegedly gunning down the husband and father of 2 on a midtown Manhattan street. Tonight, there's also news a Florida woman now faces charges after making threats against her own health insurance company after her claim was denied. ABC senior investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky leading us off.
Tonight, a new window into the mind of the alleged killer of UnitedHealthcare CEO Brian Thompson. Law enforcement sources tell ABC News Luigi Mangione allegedly shot and killed the insurance executive after fixating on him for months. The sources say passages in a spiral notebook recovered from Mangione after his arrest in Pennsylvania show a growing malice toward UnitedHealthcare and its chief executive that culminated in gunfire on a midtown Manhattan street. And tonight, after fighting his return to New York to face second-degree murder charges, the Manhattan District Attorney says Mangione may now waive extradition and could be back in the city as early as next week.
Until that time, we're going to continue to press forward on parallel paths, and we'll be ready whether he is going to waive extradition or whether he's going to contest extradition.
Police say Mangione nor his mother were covered by UnitedHealthcare. Now police say they're investigating whether he allegedly targeted UnitedHealthcare because it's a large corporation.
Here you have a young man, went to Ivy League school, come from an affluent background and family, had all the things that many Americans would like to have, but he found himself hating corporations.
The mayor says anger does not justify violence, but tonight, new evidence Mangione is being cast as a folk hero. From this billboard in California to this poster outside the hotel where Brian Thompson, a husband and father of 2, was murdered. And in Florida, a woman is charged with threatening her insurance company after it denied her claim. In a phone call, Brianna Boston allegedly invoked the same words found on the shooter's bullets: delay, deny, depose. You people are next. The woman later told police she has no gun and is no threat. Since the shooting, UnitedHealthcare added fencing around its headquarters. Today, the leader of its parent company writing in the New York Times, "We are struggling to make sense of this unconscionable act and the vitriol that has been directed at our colleagues who have been barraged by threats," but acknowledging we know the health system does not work as well as it should, and we understand people's frustrations with it. What sources describe as this deepening fixation on UnitedHealthcare came as Mangione was increasingly isolated from his family and stopped posting on social media. His alleged writings show a progression from fixation to formulation of a plan to kill. David?
Aaron Katersky with late reporting on this notebook tonight. Aaron, thank you. We turn now to the alarming images tonight, the frightening moments on an American Airlines flight from LaGuardia Airport here in New York to Charlotte. Moments after takeoff, a bird strike leading to engine failure, the plane then relying on the other engine for an emergency landing at nearby JFK Airport. Here's Whit Johnson tonight.
Frightening moments on board an American Airlines flight shortly after takeoff from New York's LaGuardia Airport.
It appears we have an engine failure, but we're still kind of working through to figure out what's going on.
A passenger recording as a bird slams into one of the plane's engines, bursting into flames.
We hit birds on the way out.
Flight 1722, bound for Charlotte last night, had 190 passengers and 6 crew on board.
The plane just immediately started, it was a loud bang, and then the plane just started shaking like crazy. I mean, everybody on the plane was visibly upset.
The aircraft, powered by its second engine, diverted to nearby JFK Airport, landing safely without injuries. American Airlines saying in a statement, "We are grateful to our crew for their professionalism and apologize to our customers for the inconvenience."
And David, we've seen just how dangerous these bird strikes can be. You'll remember back in 2009, the so-called Miracle on the Hudson. That flight also from LaGuardia to Charlotte, making that now famous emergency landing on the water. This time around, a much safer outcome. The flight rescheduled and then departed this morning. David?
All right, Whit Johnson, we'll see you on GMA this weekend, Whit. Thank you. Now to the brutal cold and snow, that cold with a grip on the Northeast tonight. Take a look at these numbers, in fact. Wind chills below freezing tomorrow morning across the east and south. Look right down to the Carolinas there. And images tonight showing the more than 3 feet of snow in Buffalo. The Bills actually canceling their practice. Lee Goldberg with the forecast for this weekend and the big change coming. And ABC's Faith Abube in Orchard Park tonight near Buffalo.
Tonight, after whiteout conditions brought travel chaos to the Great Lakes region, shutting down interstates and leaving hundreds of abandoned and wrecked vehicles in its wake, the snowblowers out in force. Weary residents racing to clear snow from the third major storm in 2 weeks.
And this right here is a car?
That is a car under there.
Outside Buffalo, in the village of Orchard Park, amid 38 inches of heavy, wet snow, we found 80-year-old volunteer firefighter Ron Trigger Dirkholtz shoveling.
I take it easy. I mean, I'm doing as much as I can, but I don't get carried away.
Not far from there, the town of Eden hitting the jackpot, a whopping 42.5 inches of snow. It's all driven by an epic Arctic blast that extends all the way south. Steam rising off Lake Superior in Duluth, Minnesota, where it felt like negative 22 degrees this morning. And in Chicago, it wasn't much warmer. Commuters bundling up in -6 wind chills.
And David, here in Orchard Park, homeowners clearing snow, also dealing with bitter cold temperatures, expected to feel like 1 degree in the overnight hours. David.
Look at that snow. Faith Abube tonight. Faith, thank you. Let's get right to Chief Meteorologist Lee Goldberg from our station here in New York, WABC. And Lee, of course, this brutal cold again tomorrow, and then a big change coming.
No doubt about it. Winter chill to start the final weekend of fall, but when we warm up after that, now it'll feel like 8 degrees tomorrow morning in Boston, single-digit wind chills in the upper Great Lakes as well, teens into New York and Philly. But the warm-up's coming. In fact, by the time we get to the end of the weekend, it'll feel a little better in Chicago, probably 50 by Monday, could even get close to 60 right here in New York on Tuesday, but it's accompanied by some rainfall. Unfortunately, the warm air isn't getting here in time to avoid an ice storm in the Midwest. That's breaking out tonight. Ice storm warnings in Cedar Rapids, winter weather advisories from Omaha up to the Twin Cities. Later tonight, the ice breaks out. We could accumulate more than a quarter inch of ice. That could mean tree damage, even power outages. Please don't travel. It'll be much safer by Sunday. David?
Yeah, this ice storm could be really dangerous. Lee Goldberg with us on a Friday night. Lee, thank you. Tonight, the growing frustration with the number of mysterious drone sightings growing now as far south as Maryland. Already, of course, sightings in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, and Connecticut. And news tonight, a confirmed sighting of drones over a naval weapons station in New Jersey. And New Jersey Governor Phil Murphy now asking President Biden directly for help. Here's Erielle Reshef.
Tonight, mounting frustration and alarm as even more states in the Northeast report swarms of those unexplained aircraft dotting the skies.
The people of this city and state and region deserve answers of what the heck is going on.
From New York to Connecticut to the Philadelphia suburbs, increasing reports of drones hovering overhead.
Drone number 2.
Maryland's former governor posting on X he saw dozens of large drones over his own home right outside the nation's capital. And today, a naval weapons station in New Jersey confirming multiple instances of drones crossing into its airspace, but saying they did not pose a threat. Tonight, New Jersey's governor appealing directly to President Biden, saying the continued reports of unmanned aircraft system activity has raised more questions than answers. And overnight, New Jersey Senator Andy Kim out with police to see for himself. You can see lights of apparent drones above him.
We're seeing just a number of different drones, probably 4 or 5 that we can see right now at any given time, flying low over the ridge line here.
David, tonight authorities warning residents not to approach any drones that may land in your area. Instead, call 911. David.
Erielle Reshef on this again tonight. Erielle, thank you. There's also news coming in tonight on former House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, who has fallen overseas during a congressional trip. Pelosi is in the hospital in Luxembourg tonight amid word she might need surgery. Let's get right to Jonathan Karl. And John, what do we know about her condition tonight?
David, we're told that the former Speaker of the House sustained a hip injury after falling down some stairs and is likely to require surgery. She is currently hospitalized there in Luxembourg. She was traveling with that group of lawmakers there to commemorate the 80th anniversary of the Battle of the Bulge. The question is whether or not Pelosi, who is 84 years old, would get the surgery if necessary there in Europe, or whether she would first come home and have the surgery here in the United States. In cases like this, we are told by doctors that surgery is recommended within the first 48 hours of an injury. Pelosi's office has put out a statement tonight. They say that she is currently receiving, quote, excellent treatment from doctors and medical professionals and looks forward to returning home to the United States soon. David?
Let's hope for a quick recovery. All right, John Karl with late reporting tonight. Thank you, John. We turn to Syria tonight, where American Travis Timmerman, the Missouri native freed after 7 months in a Syrian prison, is now on his way home tonight, flown by the U.S. military. And tonight, right here, our James Longman inside Syria again, revealing what helped fuel former President Bashar al-Assad's luxury lifestyle.
He spent 7 months in an Assad regime jail cell, but tonight, Travis Timmerman has left Syria at last. A U.S. military helicopter flying him to Jordan after he was handed over by the new rebel authorities. I spoke with his parents back in Missouri.
My heart's been broken since, he's been gone. But now I'm happy.
Across Syria today, thousands celebrating the first Friday prayers in more than 50 years without an Assad in power.
How does it feel seeing everybody celebrating today?
They are fantastically happy. We can feel now the breath of freedom.
Freedom from a tyrant whose crimes are only now being fully discovered. Tonight, proof of the huge drug-dealing business that kept him in power and allowed him to afford some of the most expensive homes and cars, like this garage full of Lamborghinis and Ferraris, seen in video circulating online. Like a cartel kingpin, the banned stimulant called Captagon helped fund Assad's lavish lifestyle and the corruption that secured his allegiance with Hezbollah and Iran.
This is essentially a smuggling operation. The pills have been put inside these devices here, packed tightly, and then they, in turn, are put inside these electrical boxes. There are pallets of them here, crates ready to be transported.
Each pill is worth as much as $20, making this haul potentially worth millions.
And we're learning new details tonight, David, on just how Bashar al-Assad escaped. US officials say he left suddenly without telling any of his aides. He took a plane and disabled the transponder so he couldn't be tracked. David?
Disabling the transponder, incredible. James Longman again tonight. James, thanks. When we come back here, the American couple in their 50s visiting Mexico, shot in their vehicle and killed. Also just in tonight, word of 2 boats colliding in Florida, more than a dozen people injured. And our Made in America Christmas is back tonight. Your ideas pouring in. The game you might be playing, think shuffleboard meets golf. And a really great idea when it comes to the family Christmas tree. In a moment here. Tonight, images coming in of a boat collision in Collier County, Florida, reports more than a dozen people have been injured. Authorities say at least 16 people were hurt when 2 airboats collided. Victims have been taken to nearby hospitals. The boats were carrying some 33 passengers in all. Tonight, authorities are investigating the murder of an American couple visiting western Mexico. The husband and wife in their 50s were shot in their pickup truck in an area dealing with organized crime. Authorities say they lived in California with a home in Mexico where they were spending holidays with family. When we come back tonight, the new study on obesity in America and what it reveals for the first time in a decade, and the sad and touching news tonight on Conan O'Brien's parents. To the index of other news tonight, and for the first time in a decade, a new study tonight shows obesity rates are actually falling in the U.S., some pointing to increased use of those popular weight loss drugs. Researchers say obesity numbers dropped nearly half a percentage point. Women in general and adults 66 to 77 showing the biggest results. That study in JEM, a health forum. Tonight, sad news for Conan O'Brien, his parents dying just 3 days apart. His father, Dr. Thomas O'Brien, died at the age of 95 on Monday. He'd been in failing health. His mother, Ruth, passing away 3 days later, yesterday, at the age of 92. The couple was married 66 years. Our thoughts, of course, with Conan and his family tonight. This evening, celebrating the tireless workers of New York's City Meals on Wheels program. Members of our 2020 team joining City Meals on Wheels, boxing meals for those in need. There are 5,000 Meals on Wheels programs across the U.S. And here in New York, they deliver 2 million meals a year in all 5 boroughs. My co-anchor and pal, Deb Roberts, and the 2020 team packaging 4,224 meals. I was on a Made in America shoot, but this is a tradition we started last year, and all of us certainly hope to keep this going. Of course, the real work is done by City Meals every day. And of course, Deb and I will see you for tonight's 2020. Up next here on World News Tonight, our Made in America Christmas, and you're not going to believe the ideas pouring in overnight in a moment. Finally tonight here, our Made in America Christmas. The countdown continues. We love this every year. And tonight here, some very sharp-looking hats, a game taking off, and the Christmas trees growing right in front of our eyes.
Tonight, our great Made in America Christmas is back. 13 years in running, your ideas pouring in.
Good to see you.
Traveling across this country, looking for small-town triumphs to put under the tree. In Kansas City, Missouri tonight, Sandlot Goods baseball hats.
Hey, David.
Garrett Prather with their high-quality Made in America hats.
Our specialty is twofold: manufacturing in the U.S. and producing a high-quality hat.
45 workers, 10 new hires, 115,000 hats this year. Many of them soon under the Christmas tree. Showing us inside the hat, stitched right there, Sandlot, made in the USA.
Made in America!
And across this country, celebrating our local Christmas tree farmers. There's still time. I just saw David Stess from Soho Trees again this year. The trees from American farms.
This is a Fraser fir?
Yeah, it's the Fraser fir.
From North Carolina.
North Carolina,
Oh,
yep.
fantastic.
And in McKinleyville, California, one of our favorites, the John Steen Tree Company, where you can buy a Christmas tree kit, they'll ship it to you, and you grow your own tree.
Hi, David.
Jonathan Clausane checking in this year.
These will be the Christmas trees of Christmas future.
6 new hires since last year. Caitlin Colburn and Skylar Cordero packing up those trees.
Hi, David.
Hi, David.
Happy holidays.
Trevor Bulkley in the nursery.
Hello, America. Happy holidays from the John Steen Company.
And this is what we love to see. Families sending in photos of their trees after we first started reporting here on the John Steen Company. Hagen Foreman with his tree in 2022. 2 years later, Hagen with a haircut and his tree now growing.
Made in America!
And from Denver tonight, the family looking to find the fun this Christmas. They call it shuffle golf, combining shuffleboard and golfing from iPlay LLC.
Hi, David.
Founders Jeff and Danielle Story, father and daughter, checking back in.
We are very excited on the success of our shuffle golf putting game since our last Made in America holiday airing with you.
Their company growing, hiring new workers, and giving back.
David, we have donated over 100 shuffle golf putting games to the National Disabled Veterans Clinics across America.
VA hospitals in Michigan, West Virginia, Texas, all using shuffle golf in their clinics. And in San Antonio, Army vet Julian and Air Force vet Duke playing around. And the workers making those shuffle golf boards in Calhoun, Georgia, proud.
Made in America.
We love it. The game, the hats, and the Christmas trees growing right in front of our eyes. So is Made in America. And we'll see you Monday night with more. Good night.
Thank you for making World News Tonight with David Muir, America's most watched newscast.